Shaun, man, first of all, congratulations on the event, man. Successful first inaugural Rising Legends tournament.
Mhm.
Man, how did this come about? I know, it's obviously to put on for these young boys here in the
Yeah.
area, but talk me a little bit about how this came
Yeah,
about, man.
so a little bit of backstory is we did our inaugural youth camp last year at Cleveland State when it was called Local Legend Youth Camp. We invited some NFL guys out, the mayor Bernie Kosar, and it was a great time. Like it was great. It was at Cleveland State. It was a free camp. I like doing things for free because a lot of these kids necessarily don't have the funds or opportunity to go to these type of events. So it's like it's our job as the people putting it on is to find the funding, go out there, find a sponsor, so we can provide the best opportunity for these kids to where it's just nothing but exposure. Y'all go out there and have fun, and that's what we did last year for the youth. And so when we did it for the youth, I just thought about it. I was like, man, like this would be really dope if we had something like this for the high school kids, but more competitive. And so when I was in high school, I was fortunate enough to go to Nike Open and out in Oregon. And so that's kind of where the idea came from, to where it's like I was maybe like one of three kids from the state of Ohio, and then going out there and I mentioned before, like my teammates were like Derwin James, Megan Fitzpatrick, quarterbacks were like Josh Rosen. These are all people in my class. So it's like for me to go out there being from Ohio and Cleveland, that took my game to another level because now it's like, okay, I can compete with him. He going to Bama, he going to LSU. I can play with these guys. And to where it's like, obviously it's not that level, but we want to create something like that to where it's like in Northeast Ohio, if you just line up and you can compete with the best of the best in the area, then it's like you got a shot. And so a lot of times it's just confidence, and then that leads to exposure. And so that's what we just trying to create here is growing these kids' confidence. You may mess up, you may get dunked on, you may do all those things, but at the end of the day, we trying to teach you to regroup, network, and then compete at the end of the day.
Man, I asked Doug, I mean, not Doug, I asked Blood this question. Why is it that when you talk about Ohio, I mean, we talk about United States high school football, we obviously got Georgia, California, Texas, and Florida. But when people think of Ohio, they never give us that respect. Why do you think about somebody who played at every level, Pee
Yeah,
Wee to
yeah.
NFL? Why don't we get that
I mean, I
respect?
think I think it's because of that we don't have the opportunity to showcase our skill positions. I think everyone talks about Ohio or Midwest about linemen. We got big linemen, physical linemen, all those different things, run the ball. But that's just because we haven't been able to take that next step and do 7-on-7. You talk about Georgia, you talk about Texas, Florida, California. That's all they do. Some states are only known for 7-on-7, like Cali, and you talk about skill position and receivers and stuff. And so I think now that it's legal here, I think this gives us an opportunity to put ourselves on the map because I mean we got players. We got Blazers in the league that play skill position. You talk about Ted Ginn being, one of the fastest players to ever play the game from Cleveland, Ohio. Marshawn, who's a DB, but also Denzel Ward, who ran, I think, 4.2, 4.3 at the combine. Like, we got the guys. It's just we just don't have that opportunity to show it year round like these other people who go to these showcases and do all those things. But it's like when we get on the field and you be like, oh, he from Cleveland, he from Ohio. It's like, oh, dang. But no, we got him, and so that's what we just trying to show. So we got all the footage, we got the players' names and all that. So we gonna cook something up, and definitely gonna show what we got going on here in Ohio.
Two more questions. How can with the OHSAA finally giving
Right.
us the green light on the 7v7, how can this event help grow the game of 7v7 in Ohio? That's one. And then I forgot my last call. I'm gonna think about it. It's that one right there.
I mean, I think this is just the first step because this is just Northeast Ohio. Like this is just Cleveland to like maybe Massillon, West East, all that stuff. But it's like this is an opportunity for us we could do Northeast Ohio Rising Legends. We could do Central, Columbus. We could go down to Dayton and Cincinnati. Like, it's all opportunities there. It's kids hungry all across. And then, like, I would love to figure out a way to where we could create a whole all Ohio team, like AAU. Just figure out the best to where it's like, yeah, they practice up here, whatever. When we link up at a showcase tournament, whatever, and then we know this is Ohio's best. You know what I mean? And so I think that's the opportunity. But it's like we can take an all-star team from Northeast Ohio and go play a team in Columbus. Like, so I think it's an opportunity to where like there's different options. They could come up here and join this thing. So we just want to take the first step in getting it out Northeast Ohio, getting it set to where it's like now we got a whole another 365 days to figure out how we can make it better. And so that's our goal now, is to like figure out how we can grow it, how we can get more sponsors, get more bring more awareness to it, and then also just create more exposure for these kids, because now you got, okay, yeah, you might have did your thing in Northeast Ohio, but it's like, well, how you compare against Columbus, how you compare against Cincinnati, you know?
Yeah,
so now that's our next step, and like I said, we got 365 days to figure it out.
I figured my last question. It was a lot of Glenville kids here, but I feel like US being the Eds guy, how does it feel to see Team Blue winning, and it was because somebody from Eds, man?
Nah, I mean, it was cool, because at the end of the day, like, you talk about a lot of Glenville, a lot of Eds kids. I mean, we don't necessarily want it to be like that. Like, I think when it grows, we want to expand it. So it's not. That's what I'm saying. Like, a lot of people are gonna see the footage and see that they missed out. And so now, like I said, like, we gonna have time to recruit. We gonna have more time to find diamond in the roughs, because like we had people reaching out to us to our emails and stuff saying like, yo, I want to get invited. I want to come compete. And so that's all we're looking for at the end of the day. And so this year we might have just had to reach out to our network to just, and that might have just been Eds, that might have been Glenville, just to try to get as many people as we here could. And don't get me wrong, they might have been the people that should have been invited. And so now our goal is, as we expand, is to like really truly
find them diamonds in the
rough and provide that opportunity to get out here. But at the end of the day, like, we wanted to create this event. We wanted to make sure we had enough kids. Glenville kids was hungry. Ed's kids was hungry. Shaker, they represented well too. So that's just our goal, is like, hey, if you come out to the field, we gonna send the invites out. Now, we sent some invites out to people who, they didn't accept, but the people accepted. And if it was a lot of Glenville, if it was a lot of Eds, hey, so be it. It is what it is. But the thing is, they also don't play each other no more. When I was in high school, we played each other. So now it's an opportunity for them to play with each other and then still play against each other, that they don't get that rec in season. And so that's really the point behind this. Is like, it may be a great receiver it is, great corner it is, but because they schedules on the line, they don't play. So now, Rising Legends, they gonna play.
They gonna play, yeah.
So that's always the goal, and I'm always give credit to St. Eds. They do a great job of developing and just work throughout the year. And so, I mean, them boys was ready. They did their thing. I'm cramping and stuff.
Nah, man. Well, like I told them boys at Next Gen, man, I appreciate what y'all doing, man. I've been following you for a minute, man, with Varsity House and everything, man. I appreciate what you're doing for the community, man, and hopefully I get a tag along for the run with y'all.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you.